Who never thought that she would be a beatbox flutist. And I want to tell you today how learning to beatbox on the flute changed the way that I think about what it means to be creative. Because I think we all need creativity in our lives. I also want to tell you the unexpected things that I got from beatboxing, like overcoming some of my fears and being able to reach out to people, because it's because of beatboxing that I'm here talking to you today. I think we need to step outside of the box and open our minds and our education systems to ideas that are meaningful and engaging to young people. Beatboxing is exactly that. Beatboxing teaches improvisation, personal expression. Anyone can do it, and in a time where budgets are limited, it's free. I think when we ask people to engage in a creative act where there's no right or wrong, only creativity and possibility, that we're laying the foundation for people to live creative lives. So, if you didn't know those sounds could come out of a human, you're in for a big surprise today, because vocal percussion, the art of imitating percussion sounds with your mouth, has actually been around for thousands of years, both in education and performance. In India, there are syllables called vocal bowls and conical that are used to teach drumming. Conical, actually, in the last few hundred years, has become its own separate performance art that's done without the drum. In China, there's a vocal percussion tradition called kuji, which dates back at least 2,300 years. It imitates everyday sounds with vocal percussion. Beatboxing originated in the United States and grew out of the hip-hop tradition in the 1980s, when people started imitating electronic drum machines, also known as beatboxes. As beatboxing continues to evolve and include more diverse percussion sounds, it's sometimes now called urban vocal percussion. I gave a workshop at a middle school outside Washington, D.C. on beatboxing about 8 months ago. And the band director there told me recently that every week the kids are still asking when I'm going to come back and work with them again. Why is it that after 8 months and a whole summer vacation, that these kids still remember and they're still engaged and interested in learning from this? I think when we see kids step up and be so interested in something like this, that we have a responsibility as the adults and the teachers to teach them something that's going to help them succeed in life through beatboxing. So if we just think about one of the skills that beatboxing can help us learn, improvisation. I think anytime we ask anyone to improvise, they're asked to create something right there. And when you create something in that moment, I think you have no choice but to learn something about yourself. So when I started beatboxing on the flute and writing my own music, I learned something about myself. I learned that I would rather play all the wrong notes in somebody else's music than to write something of my own that was my own best work and to put it forward into the world and to have people not like it or not accept it. And I thought, wow, where did that come from? So I think one of the things that it is that as a classical musician, many of us have little or no training in improvisation. And I also think it's that classical musicians live in the same world as everyone else, where we worry about being right, or we won't ever get a job performing in an orchestra, or if we make a big mistake, we can lose our jobs. I think it's really important for people to be able to share their ideas, and I think it's a frightening way to be thinking, to be afraid to share your best work and your most creative ideas. And I wonder how many ideas we've lost over time to this. I wonder what the world would be like today if Martin Luther King Jr. had not thought his ideas were worth expressing, or even how different our childhoods would have been without Dr. Seuss, or how different Toledo would be without this conference today. Ken Robinson says in his TED Talk that he contends that creativity now is as important a part of education as literacy, and it should be treated as such. I agree. And I think we need all the tools we can get. Beatboxing teaches creativity, improvisation, individual expression, and anyone can do it. We all need creativity in our lives. I want the creative person researching cancer. And I want the creative person working on my car. I recently saved a lot of money because of that. I most certainly, though, want the creative person teaching our children. We all need creativity in our lives. So when are you going to try beatboxing?